I hope everyone is sitting down. Buckle your seatbelts. I think I'm gonna unleash a harsh truth on you all. To the best of my understanding, the reason that this is happening is because none of this makes sense. And because they can get away with it. In 2012, who stood up for 2CH? I didn't. Anyone listening to this, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably didn't either. They slid it in. No one objected. They got away with it. 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 They slid it in, no one objected, they got away with it. And that's immensely obnoxious. It's actually, I think, sort of emblematic of the issues with the Controlled Substances Act. You have a drug that is obscure, so obscure that most people probably don't even know that it's a controlled substance, including apparently the people that make the list of controlled substances for the DEA, that is really useful for scientific research, right? It's a very important precursor for making a variety of different phenethylamines, which we all know are now being investigated for their medical utility. And now researchers have to use some other synthetic route if they're publishing a process that involves 2CH. And I have personally seen this happen. I have had to do chemistry with a protected 2CH intermediate to avoid moving through a controlled substance. It's fucking ridiculous to have to do this, but if the point is to publish this research, which it is, you can't commit a crime in the process of doing it. And the other reason that this is really ridiculous, sorry, I'm just pointing out that it's ridiculous more than I am really answering your question, but the other reason that this is ridiculous is that in 1988, there was something called the Chemical Diversion and Trafficking Act. And this was the system where a number of different precursor chemicals were placed on a special list. There's list 1 chemicals and list 2 chemicals, sort of analogous to the schedules. But in this instance, the lists are used to identify chemicals of concern for regulation by chemical supply companies. If large quantities of a list 1 chemical are sold, it is the legal responsibility of a chemical supply company to report that to the DEA. So they already have this in place. They already have a way of regulating these chemicals. Why did they just randomly put 2 aryl cyclohexylamine precursors, 1 amphetamine precursor, and 2 psychedelic precursors in with the rest of the controlled substances? And my guess is just because they could get away with it, because people didn't object. And that's why it's so important not only to keep tabs on everything that the DEA is doing, but to stand up against them when they do things like this. Because you might think, oh yeah, 2CH, who cares, right? Why would I care about the placement of 2CH in Schedule 1? But somewhere down the line, some scientists might be working on a treatment for depression or Parkinson's disease, and they might think, maybe I won't make that compound because I have to go through that whole thing and I have to add some synthetic steps to protect and deprotect, and what a nightmare. Maybe I'll just do something else, right? It's a real hassle. And of course, you could even accidentally break the law because this is so convoluted that even people like me that spend absolutely insane amounts of time reviewing the Controlled Substances Act and the list of controlled substances are often surprised. The reason that this is happening is because none of this makes sense, and because they can get away with it.
gone.
Be gone, demons.
Be gone.
Leave this studio!
Leave this studio.